We begin by addressing issues foremost in thoughts around the world. North Korea's recent successes in rocketry were not unexpected by analysts who have been observing activity in that country. Nevertheless, this is of concern because Kim Jong-un is considered unstable, egoistic, and ambitious. What none of them knows is that if North Korean scientists attempted to launch a missile bearing a nuclear warhead, crews in spacecraft surrounding Earth will assure its failure, just as they have done with more than a dozen Illuminati attempts during the past several years. Our perspective of Putin's aggression in Eastern Europe is that this is an Illuminati promulgated implication that he will forcibly bring Baltic countries and others under Russia's governmental and economic control. That is not his intention, and as a reminder, the Illuminati feed on the energy of fear and resort to any means to engender fear. With talk of a ceasefire, albeit temporary, it is natural that violence has escalated in Syria, where energy long has been chaotically directed, and, with several diverse contingents at battle in that country and nearby countries, a lasting ceasefire will not come until those energy streamers have run out their course. While Russia is criticized for its airstrikes that aid the Assad regime as well as help ground forces regain areas taken over by the Islamic State, President Putin and other influential individuals are working behind the scenes to bring stability throughout the Mideast and North Africa. Understandably, there is concern about people in war-torn areas continuing to undertake risky transits into countries that are not able to provide adequate housing, schooling, work, or health care to the millions of refugees already there. In time, violence will end in the villages and cities from which the people fled, and those who wish to return can start rebuilding their communities and lives. In the interim, compassion and goodwill on the part of the host citizenry and the immigrants' contribution of talents, skills, and assimilation efforts can result in compatibility and mutual benefit. In this moment and into the future, financial assistance from all prospering nations is necessary to ease, then end this humanitarian crisis. According to Nirvana's Monitors of Earth, investigative scientists know that a toxic chemical is causing the many cases of microcephaly associated with the Zika virus, but they don't know if the source is bites from Aedes mosquitoes that were injected with the chemical or bites from those that mutated by absorbing the very toxin used to eradicate them, or if the condition is due to pregnant women drinking water containing the chemical. Thus, to readers who asked if the Illuminati are behind this spreading outbreak of Zika and microcephaly, we say yes, but it may be indirectly as opposed to their concerted but futile efforts to create pandemics by releasing laboratory-designed viruses such as SARS and bird flu. They deliberately put toxins in chemtrail spray, and others are in industrial pollution, fossil fuel energy usage, soil and underground water contaminated by nuclear waste, or chemicals in fertilizer and insecticides. That this proliferation of toxicity is adversely affecting the planet and all of its life forms has been shamefully disregarded by chemical manufacturers abetted by powerful individuals and governments. And, the Illuminati's amassing of wealth, globally contributes in large measure to masses living in the impoverished conditions wherein disease-bearing mosquitoes thrive. No, karma is not involved in all cases of fleeing peoples or babies born with microcephaly and their families. Soul-level petitions are being granted in unprecedented numbers to permit advancement in evolvement status for enduring unchosen experiences. Still, this honoring of soul requests isn't consciously known by those persons or the world, and their situations are seen as the grievous hardships they are on the physical level. The reader who wrote that astrological readers and intuitives have predicted the rest of this month and March will be extremely delicate on this planet, asked in what areas will things be delicate and challenging. Certainly the aforementioned situations are delicate and fraught with challenges to the many millions directly affected and unnerving to all of society. Calmness about stock market volatility and reports of banks closing would be a challenge for investors, and confusion as to what is ahead economically, very likely is worrisome to many others, too. In numerous countries candidates are vying for office and the citizens are anxious about election outcomes. Then there are predictions anew about catastrophic earthquakes and tsunamis as well as World War III imminent, starting in the Mideast. And, In the midst of all those energy streamers with tumultuous attachments, even lightworkers may find it challenging to consistently maintain optimism about Earth's future. That said, when planetary alignment is more conducive to unsettlement than during periods of less interaction, individuals with negative attitudes and pessimistic outlook will manifest more challenging circumstances for themselves. The law of attraction operates 24/7. Beloved family, every happening, whether perceived as progress or setbacks, tragedies or triumphs, is a reflection of vibrations that are ramping up turmoil, so it can run out its course and simultaneously expand the success of grassroots movements around the world. How we wish that this very moment life on earth were what you want: peace, truth, kindness, mutual respect, and cooperation of all peoples. Ultimately, it will be, and your steadfastness in the light is helping to create in linear time, the world you want, that already is, in the continuum. Now then, we shall address the remaining soul-related questions. The first, from a reader in the United States, is much the same asked by others who also tied it to presidential campaigning in that country, but the relevance of this issue is global. What happens to the souls of unborn children due to an abortion? Janos, a soul in an 8th density civilization, spoke about this with my mother several years ago, and I asked her to copy that part of their lengthy conversation. The following excerpt is from the chapter Janos in Voices of the Universe. A soul does not need a body for life itself, as that is inherent in the essence of every soul. It is only for experiencing physically what cannot be without some mass for functioning that souls choose to have a body of some sort. Among your people, there is great misconception about life and the difference between a soul and a body. You have a process called abortion that some believe is the destruction of a new life, and there is argument about when a soul enters a body being formed in the womb. No soul's life ever is destroyed by ending the formation of a developing body. Bodies grow independently of souls through the natural laws of physical mechanisms, reproducing in accordance with the cellular programming of each civilization. Souls are not restricted to incarnating in a specific civilization. A soul's spiritual evolutionary status automatically puts it within a certain vibratory level, and it chooses a civilization within that sphere that can provide the experiencing needed for its advancement. The greater the spiritual evolvement, the higher the light station within which a soul may choose the civilization for embodying, or living as a free spirit member. Souls whose spiritual growth needs are within the 3rd density of Earth or other placements of similar vibratory status, have a number of choices regarding bodies. They may reside around the parents even before conception takes place, and after conception, they may enter the fetus to experience that growth sensation. If that kind of experience isn't needed, they may remain outside for other kinds of experiencing prior to the birth, but with a soul contract claim on the developing body that other souls respect. If a soul enters a developing body and then reverses that decision, the woman experiences a miscarriage. A soul may inhabit a developing body until imminent birth, then decide not to continue in that body, and a stillbirth results. Also, a soul may make one of those decisions, experience what it requires emotionally, and in agreement with another soul, will exit, and the second soul enters until miscarriage, stillbirth, or live birth occurs. A soul with a claim on a developing body may permit another soul to reside in the body to experience the growth and birth sensation, then that soul leaves and the first one takes over the physical life. These various situations always are by agreement with all souls involved, which of course includes the parents and any other family members, and the purpose is to permit chosen experiences to several souls at the level they need. Abortion, like all the other stages from prior to conception through a viable birth, provides opportunities for the participating souls to experience the attendant emotions that fill voids in their experiences to that moment. Bodies have a life force independent of a soul, and while it is an unusual situation that a body lives without a soul, this can happen. Souls have the choice to enter a cloned body or not, and if not, the clone still seems like anyone else because the brain and all senses and motor abilities are functioning. Another example is when injured or ill people are comatose. the soul may choose to remain with the body or not, and if not, as long as nourishment is given, that body continues to live in a vegetative state until it dies from deterioration of cells. Thank you, Mother. If all Earth's peoples could know that every one of you is a soul having a physical experience and the many choices souls have, abortion would not be a political, social, or religious issue. When you are living in the fullness of Earth's golden age, there will be no abortions or divisiveness of any kind. Life will be loving, peaceful, and in harmony with all of nature. Is the soul the essence of a person, or was it created to support the fundamental essence as a storage unit for experiences? In other words, are we really the essence, with the soul, mind, and body as functional instruments only to support our true self, which is the essence, which would suggest that the soul is a spiritual function located in between our fundamental essence and our mind? Your true self is a soul, an independent, inviolate, eternal being, whether living in a physical or a spirit world, or as a free spirit anywhere in this universe. Your essence, or composition, is the pure love light energy of Creator, the source of everything in existence throughout the cosmos, and in this universe is of God. Using Creator's energy and its gift of free will, with its component power of manifestation, you design a mind and a body that will enable you to function in accordance with what you want to experience after incarnating. You endow this person with a repository, or storage unit, of soul-level knowledge of the beginnings in Creator, and the collective wisdom and memories of your other lifetimes. It may be helpful to read a prior message that offers more extensive information about preparing for a new physical lifetime. February 3, 2014. Thank you, Mother, for adding the date, and we add that a lifetime as a free spirit has nothing whatsoever to do with personality traits or behavior. It is a special kind of experiencing that may or may not require a body, not even an etheric body, whereby the soul communicates directly with God and knowledgeably accomplishes its pre-birth chosen mission. Jesus and other messengers of God are examples of souls that needed a body to accomplish their free spirit lifetime mission. Why is it that some deceased souls remain attached to the earth plane and not ascend to the light? How come they have that choice? Don't we all have to go to nirvana or another realm to account for our lives here, and assess whether we need to return or not? It isn't quite accurate to ascribe choice to the rare occasions when persons don't go to nirvana or another spirit world directly after physical death. The soul, which is pure love light energy, is liberated from the person's etheric body and psyche, and it is the psyche that is reluctant to leave. The power of belief is mighty indeed, and some of those people believe they still are alive and carrying on, maybe preparing for a loved one's return, or caring for their young children, or consummating a new business venture. Others do know they had died but want to stay on earth until they have completed something of utmost importance. Perhaps explain to families how to handle personal business affairs, or continue fighting alongside their comrades, or let police know who killed them. Whatever the reason, it is of such vital significance to people in either of those categories that the energy they exert enables their etheric bodies to linger nearby. Eventually, often with the assistance of angels, spirit guides, or a proficient energy worker, all of those souls realize that they cannot do what they desire, and willingly move on to a spirit world. If in nirvana, they experience life review, and take advantage of all the opportunities that wondrous realm offers as they plan their next embodiment. Then there is the considerably different situation that you call possession, which also is a very infrequent occurrence on earth. A darkly inclined soul purposefully lingers to look for a body to enter during sleep time, and remain henceforth. When it enters a body, a struggle ensues until one of the souls manages to oust the other. If the intruder soul takes possession, an experienced energy worker can perform what you call exorcism. When that is successful, the intruder is assisted to the light and the original occupant returns. If exorcism is not performed or is unsuccessful, the original soul goes to nirvana or the spirit world of its civilization, and the intruder remains in the body and causes considerable changes in the person's behavior. What happened to the soul when someone committed suicide? First we say, There is no punishment for suicide as some religions teach. Just as in cases where physical death is by any other cause, the soul is liberated from the etheric body and psyche. Someone who takes his or her life does so in mental and emotional anguish, and the psyche enters nirvana in that traumatized state. After a healing process of tender, customized care, and constant attentiveness, the person joins the realm's population and experiences life review, just as all others do. When another incarnation is planned, it includes the karmic lessons that had been chosen but not experienced in the life cut short. Mother, please add the date of the message that covers this topic more comprehensively. September 23, 2014. Thank you, and yes, I see that we have reached preferred space limits. I also see more questions about the soul on your list, but I feel that the information we have provided is the most relevant for the greatest number of readers. So, with the assurance that never are you alone in your earth journey, we bid you loving farewell for this moment. Love and peace.